Great. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this afternoon's work session. Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. We'll begin with a pledge of allegiance, please. It's always the staff. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. I'm going to get a gavel just for work session. Anyways, all right.
No, you get attention better for the meeting than the work session today.
Right.
There did used to be a gavel.
There is one. I have one in my office. There's one in there. All right. We have a couple items today. The first is the presentation of the Westfield speed humps by Chris Schregel and Pat Lucy.
Hi, Pat Lucy, Highway Superintendent. So I reached out to Chris, and we decided that maybe we should present a little bit something here, a presentation to the board. We are going to pilot putting speed humps on Westfield. This was going to be hopefully done last year, except we ran out of time and we couldn't pave Westfield to get it done in time. So now we're looking to do it within the next month or so. The road's going to be scarified, repaved, and then at the end we're going to install 3 speed humps. The reason why I did ask Chris to reach out again, Chris has done some studies on the road. We just didn't pick a road out of the hat. Again, he did some speed studies off of complaints and stuff. And we decided this is one of the better roads to pilot this. Now, again, I want to be very clear about my position on this, okay? I'm not a speed hump advocate yet, or if I ever will be, I don't know. But I'm open-minded enough to give this a chance to see if it works and to cut down on some of these roads that really do have a lot of speeding cars. Anybody's ever gone to a traffic safety board meeting, we all know one of the biggest complaints are speeders going up and down roads. So are these for everywhere? No. But again, you got to start somewhere, and I think this is a good place to start. The one other thing is there is a person on Westfield who is strongly against this, which, again, I want to at least, Chris and I, give the board some information on this. Should he come forward during some public expression or some type of communication, we can all at least be a little bit more schooled and knowledgeable on what we're going to do. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris now.
Thanks, Pat. Chris Schregel, Engineering Department Traffic Safety Coordinator. So, like Pat said, the purpose is to pilot on Westfield, really to determine effectiveness and assist in future decision-making. Here's a diagram of, or at least location of Westfield. It runs north-south. It's in Eggertsville, runs between Longmeadow and Main Street. Based on its orientation, it does receive quite a bit of cut-through traffic, as you'll see in future slides. It's posted at 30 miles per hour. It's all single-family, aside from a school on the very south end. At that school, it turns into a hill that descends to the northern section of Westfield. A little bit of background, like Pat said, it's been before the Traffic Safety Board on multiple times, 2017 and 2022. Back in 2017, we did do a speed study, which indicated 1,455 vehicles per day. That number right there tells you that it is subject to cut-through traffic. There's no way that that's all local traffic. Speeds are on the very high end. Northbound going down the hill, 41 mile per hour, 85th percentile. Southbound at 39. Past actions by the Traffic Safety Board: ask the police for help, putting up a speed trailer, doing speed enforcement. That's just short-term type of solutions, nothing long-term. Traffic Safety Board is recommending doing something more, something physical, traffic calming, specifically speed humps be installed. Why Westfield? The geometry lends itself to speed hump installation. It's open, it's wide open, it's straight with the occasional on-street parking. That hill allows for motorists to gain speed. It is subject to cut-through traffic. It is sufficiently lit. It has a wide right-of-way. And of the 140 local counted roadways on record, Westfield has the highest recorded 85th percentile on speed for a residential roadways section posted at 30. So this is the typical graph that the Traffic Safety Board looks at. As you can tell, looking at your left, the 36 to 40, it spikes at 266 vehicles per day, traveling in that range, and again, another 122 over 41. So if you look at those numbers throughout the day of those vehicles exceeding 40 miles per hour in Westfield, it is spiking during the AM peak and again in the PM peak, with hovering around 25 to 28 vehicles traveling over 40 during those hours. For public outreach, I'm going to turn it back over to Pat.
Yes, again, I did reach out to the Amherst Police and Emergency Services, basically Eggertsville and Fire Control. The Amherst Police did have some concerns with speed humps just in general anywhere. Obviously, it could slow down a little bit the response time if they have to go over a speed hump, which these things are designed to do, slow down vehicles. However, the fire services in Eggertsville, they had no problem at all with speed humps on this road when we reached out to their officers there at the fire company. I also, back in the summer, I sent a letter to all 90-some houses. We delivered, hand-delivered letters proposing what we were going to do with these speed humps once we were going to pave the road. I put my email address down and I asked for comments. About 22 people responded to me, mainly through emails, some through telephones or in person. About 12 were in favor, and I think 9 were opposed to having speed humps. So not a great push either way as far as the residents are concerned, at least the few that, again, the 20% or so, 25% that responded to me. So, you know, I tried to put it out there as much as I could. Again, we will send out letters again as we get closer to the paving date to spell this out. So I tried to take the time and prepare. I told people just to drive up to Tree Haven right off Eggert Road and go down the speed humps there where the city of Buffalo has them installed. See what you think. Okay, I don't know if they did it or not, but we tried to give them firsthand experience of what these are. So we tried to do everything we could to get some feedback, and again, I got a little bit, but not as much as I wanted. So now the next thing, again, we're just going to pilot this and see how it goes. I don't know how it's going to work with snowplows. I addressed the Traffic Safety Board on this, and again, they gave their backing on this after we had a discussion about it. But we all agreed, let's take it one step at a time, one road at a time, and then see where it goes. So that's where we stand now, and hopefully, you know, we'll get some good information once these are installed.
Well, Pat, thanks for doing the public outreach component. That's obviously important, but and I think that the idea of piloting them means, you know, just that, right? We're going to try it out. At the end of the day, I mean, it's going to would take some work, but you could remove them ultimately if it wasn't working. So
Correct.
right.
Yep.
Okay. Chris?
So in reference to the plan, the town hired Donato Associates as part of a greater traffic calming type project where they included a plan set as well as standardized details and signage plan. They are recommending the 3 speed humps as shown in red on the screen. Design considerations included proper separation, hill avoidance, street lights, and driveways. And like you said, Supervisor, this is a before and after type study, so we want to make sure that we have the data to make decisions in the future. As such, we are doing before and after speeds. We've got a counter out there either this week or next week to get another set of data. And we will be going out in the same exact locations. These are going to be in between the humps, mid-block. And then likewise, the Traffic Safety Board thought it'd be a good idea to study before and after on the adjacent parallel road of Ivyhurst, as traffic calming tends to move the problem, and we certainly don't want that to happen as well. So if you're looking at that map, Ivyhurst is the next one over to the east. It is not as convenient cut through, so our hope is that it does not see a dramatic increase of either speeds or volume. With that, we'll open up for questions and comments.
Questions from the board?
I have some.
Sure.
I understand the purpose. Chris, you may recall that I reached out to you when the city of Buffalo put in theirs, because I got a lot of phone calls from Amherst residents who had to go down that street with complaints. I didn't have anyone who liked it, and if anyone recalls, that was in the paper as the judge's row, that the judges wanted it and got it. So I guess I'm skeptical. If we start getting a lot of complaints from the residents and want to relook at it, I don't know how long you're planning to study it, but if we're getting lots of complaints, can we relook at it sooner? And if we decide to undo it, how easy is it to undo?
Yeah,
I know
well,
I gave you a lot to unpack in that.
right. I mean, and again, you can look right out here in the parking lot, and there's a speed hump right by the bridge, okay? And that was, these are built after the road's paved. It's, incorporated into the roadway. So, yes, anything can be removed. It's only asphalt, okay? But I think we should at least give it a year, okay? We want to get into the seasons. And again, certainly the snow season, to see how effective our plows may be, noise component and everything else. I mean, there's pro and con to this all day long. I've read many articles on speed humps, to be quite honest. And, cars, going over them, avoiding them, going around them. Again, we're going to have signage there to prevent that. But I don't know the unknown, okay, of what we may still encounter. So again, this is why it's important that, we're only doing one road. We're going to study it. And like I said, it's not forever road. We had some requests for Brompton. Now, that definitely would not have been a good road, because that is a heavily traveled road that goes, between two main arteries. And at least in my opinion, that wouldn't have been a good road to put speed humps on. But, that's for future people to decide, okay? I think we should start the conversation now, start this. We do have a school on Westfield and a church, a lot of kid traffic, during the season. So again, that also played into the part of what we're looking at here. Not to say that we're having a lot of fatalities or people hit on Westfield, because it's not as far as I have heard it all. So, but again, one is one too many. So if we can slow the cars down, I think it's all for the better. But at what price? So, yes, Councilwoman, I would say a year, and then if we decide it's just not working, they can be taken out, and we just pave over what was there.
Okay, thank you.
So just on the record, I mean, it appears in one of our current documents, but there's a cited source from Killing Speed and Saving Lives, which is a UK Department of Transportation, London, England study, backed up by a motor vehicle accident reconstruction cause analysis, 4th edition, Charlottesville, VA. Published in 1994, which showed that at 40 miles an hour, roughly 85%, there's an 85% chance of pedestrian fatality from a pedestrian struck by a vehicle at 40 miles an hour. At 30 miles an hour, there's a 45% chance of a pedestrian fatality. and at 20 miles an hour, a 5% chance of pedestrian fatality. So, clearly, at 40 miles an hour, 39 miles an hour, 41 miles an hour, whatever the peaks are here, that we are basically tolerating an 85% pedestrian fatality on that road currently. That's excessive and inappropriate, and I think that this data set combined with, published data on pedestrian fatalities would lead you to say, yes, you've got to try something, right? And this certainly is a trial to me that's worthwhile. So thank you for that. Anybody else? Good. All right. Thank you both. Okay, we're gonna get into our board meeting items now. We're going to have a couple of public hearings tonight. The first is on the Wrench Road rezoning. Do you know who's presenting that? Sean, oh, you got both, Sean?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
And then Resolution 529, which is the 2350, 2360 to 2372 Sweet Home Road request to amend the declaration of restrictions, and you're withdrawing the requested rezoning action. Is that correct? So the one question I have, I don't know that we know this yet, is whether, so there's a protest petition in on that project. I'm not sure protest petitions pertain to declarations of amended restrictions. Okay. We're probably not going to make a decision tonight. We always,
Yeah.
so, I mean, to me, we have a few weeks, 2 weeks to figure that out. But I just think we should be clear, going into the next meeting, whether or not the protest petition even would be something you could file on an amended declaration of restrictions.
Probably not, but I want to be sure.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm just saying, I think that we need to look at that.
Supervisor, I was
Yeah.
just going to read from the agenda, just thinking about it. When the people signed their names, it was the request to rezone .77 acres from OB to MFR 5 at 2350 Sweet Home Road. So, I don't know.
It is written around the
Rezoning.
rezone. Clearly, the petition itself is written around the rezone, so and that's what the trigger is, right, in our rezoning process, so. But for next time, so, Sean,
I also think this question's come up before, and I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure it didn't apply to amending the declaration of restrictions, just to the rezoning. But let's let our attorney verify.
so I'm okay, we'll open the public hearing, maybe even close it tonight, we'll set a decision date, okay. All right, moving forward, so with the idea of a consent agenda in mind, Resolution 530 are 2023 to 2028 CIP amendments. Any questions about that amendment? Any reason to withhold it from consent? So again, this is cleanup. Obviously, we had the ice chiller replacement move into the CIP for this year. That's created a ripple effect through a number of other items. We've been trying to be diligent about what we are going to start and what we aren't going to start and what we could clean up in the CIP going into the construction of the next CIP. All right, Resolution 531 is a delegation for certifying officer in accordance with 24 CFR Part 58. Any questions about that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Okay, Councilwoman Berger, you have an appointment to the Arts and Culture and Public Places Board.
Yes, we changed Bert from a resource person to a member.
Okay.
That's what the resolution is for.
Any questions regarding the appointment? Any reason to withhold it from consent?
Which actually, this is a good time to point out, we're starting our summer concerts and our, what are we calling it? Art, we're doing what, every week in July, we're having, Arts and Culture is doing kid activities at the farmer's market in the parking lot.
Okay, good. All right, next item on the agenda is Resolution 533, which is going to require a seeker vote, then a voice vote. 534 is just voice, is that correct, right? 535 is seeker and a voice vote. 536 is a demolition, so there's a seeker and a voice vote. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
schedule.
536, is there any reason to withhold Resolution 536, Engineering Department Sewer Building Improvements and Demolition, OCPH, 185,000? Is there any reason to withhold that from consent? Okay.
Quick question. If we're just scheduling a public hearing, why can't we schedule that now?
I forget,
We decided we could do that during the,
we just did via consent.
I didn't hear you ask for objections, that's why. Never mind.
I always forget because previously we couldn't.
Yes, I know.
Okay. Resolution 537 is the building maintenance and facilities equipment bond. On that one, I don't see any seeker again.
Yeah.
Is there something I
didn't see
missed?
any. It's for a tractor. I
I
didn't see
don't
any, but
think so,
it
right?
is roll call.
So that'll be roll call. No seeker. Got it. It's just an equipment purchase. 538 is the Amherst Central Park Clubhouse commissioning, bond resolution in the amount of 100,000. Any questions about that? We'll go to seeker and a voice vote tonight on that one. Resolution 539 is the roadway and infrastructure improvement agreement. Any questions about that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? All right, Resolution 540 is the North Maplemere Road extension and improvements. We have to adopt a seeker and a voice vote for that tonight. Resolution 541 is the lease agreement with Northtown Automotive Companies Incorporated, Town of Amherst, CRS 4154. Any questions regarding the lease agreement? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 542 is a right-of-way dedication and extension of North Maplemere Road. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 543 is an authorization to pay outside counsel invoice from trust and agency account. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 544 is the 180 Via Foresta Lane, sorry, I almost got that wrong. License agreement, owners are we, CRS 4142. Any questions regarding that license agreement? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 545 is the 66 Beach Ridge Drive license agreement, owner Shell, CRS 4152. Any questions regarding the license agreement? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 546 is a settlement of an Article 7 matter, Rite Aid Corporation versus Town of Amherst. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 547 is a settlement of an Article 7 matter for 4459 Bailey Avenue LLC versus the Town of Amherst. Any questions regarding that Article 7 settlement? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 548 is an amusement license for the Amberley. Any questions regarding granting that? Any reason to withhold it from consent? What are crowd managers? Those were one of my questions I was going to ask. Gotta watch those parties at Amberley. Resolution 549 is amusement license at Evans Bank. Any questions regarding that resolution for amusement license? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 550 is amusement license for Devolio Incorporated on Transit. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 551 are new firefighters for Swarmville Fire Company. Any questions about the appointments? Any reason to withhold them from consent? Resolution 552 is the 2023 Capital Improvement Program Amendment, Engineering Department Building Improvements Project F6. Any questions regarding the resolution or the amendment? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 553 are budget transfers and amendments. Any questions about those? Any reason to withhold them from consent? Resolution 554 is to accept an audit period ending 12/31/2022. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 555 is an award of bid 2023016 miscellaneous small equipment and parts, CRS 4084, 4085, 4086, and 4087. Any questions about that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 556 is an award of bid 2023022 busing, CRS 4105. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 557 is an award of bid for 2023021 parking lot crack fill seal coat and striping, CRS 4144. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 558 is a travel authorization on the 2023 Basic Economic Development course. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 559 is the 2023 to 2028 CIP amendment, CIP project number F9. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 560 is the 2023-2028 Capital Improvement Program Amendment, CIP project number E2, Maple Mere Roadway Extension and Improvements. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 561 is a fire hydrant installation, North Maple Mere Road Extension. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 562 is a change order number 2 and final decrease of $20,507 to MKS Plumbing Corporation, Audubon Library Expansion Phases 1 and 2, Town of Amherst, job number 2019.048, CRS 4133. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 563 is change order number 1 and final decrease of $25,000 to Greater Niagara Mechanical Incorporated, Audubon Library Expansion Phases 1 and 2, Town of Amherst, job number 2019.048, CRS 4131. Resolution 564 is change order number 1 and final decrease of $18,192 to Fry Electric Construction Corporation Incorporated, Audubon Library Expansion Phases 1 and 2, Town of Amherst, job 2019.048, CRS 4132. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 565 is a senior clerk typist for court. Any questions regarding the appointment? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 566 is an electrician for building maintenance facilities department. Any questions regarding the appointment? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 567 is a main corridor plan project charter. Any questions regarding that project charter? I know there is one alteration to the charter that we wanted to make.
Yes,
Council.
I just was suggesting that we add the Disabilities Committee to the Town of Amherst stakeholders. So is that something that can just be added, or do we need to amend it? You'll just modify the charter? So are we good then? Yep.
so we're gonna note on the record that the charter will be modified.
Modified to add disabilities committee.
Okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you. Okay.
All right. With that said, is there any
Yes.
reason to withhold? Okay. Resolution 568, town board authorization for supervisor to sign a budget amendment for local waterfront revitalization program, LWRP, contract with the State of New York Department of State. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 569 is to authorize substantial amendment to the fiscal year 2021 annual action plan to adopt and incorporate the home ARP allocation plan for community development. Any questions with the resolution itself? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 570 is to authorize supervisor to execute the Blocher Home Apartments Home ARP grant agreement with People Incorporated, CRS 4149. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 571 is to authorize supervisor to execute the Blocher Home Apartments Home Entitlement Loan Agreement with Blocher Home Apartments LLC, CRS 4148. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 572 is to request for additional funds for the 2023 Safety Education Trust Fund. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 573, United Uniform Distribution Incorporated, CRS 4155, is piggyback off of Albany County contract purchase of law enforcement equipment and supplies. Any questions regarding that piggyback? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 574 is the early voting polling designation lease agreement. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 575 is the 2023 CIP amendment. Any questions regarding the CIP amendments for the wastewater treatment facility? Any reason to withhold them from consent? Resolution 576 is the pay authorization for Duval Safety Equipment Incorporated. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold them from consent? Resolution 577 is the lift station communications 3G, 4G upgrades. Costellino Industries CRS 3816 to 3488. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 578 is an authorization to pay a vendor. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold that from consent? Resolution 579 is authorization to proceed NCA CRS 4147. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Okay. Resolution 580 is a travel authorization. Any questions regarding the travel authorization? Any reason to withhold it from consent? All right, the reason why I paused at 579 is I originally had a reason to withhold it from consent, but we're gonna move forward. So happy to be moving forward with that project. Communication 79 is Amherst Symphony Orchestra fee waiver. I recommend we grant the fee waiver. Any questions regarding that? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Communication 80 is a Newman Center fee waiver. Any questions regarding that fee waiver? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 581 is a PIP 3031 Roger Chaffee Drive Apartments Sanitary. Any questions regarding the resolution? I recommend we approve the PIP. Any reason not to do that via consent? Resolution 582 is a PIP for 3037 George Carl Boulevard Sanitary. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold that, granting that PIP from consent? Resolution 583 is a PIP 3057 to 4400 North French Development Sanitary. Any questions regarding the PIP? Any reason not to approve it via consent? Resolution 584 is a PIP 3073 for Auden Amherst Development Sanitary. Any questions regarding the PIP? a reason not to approve it via consent. We do have one executive session item to adjourn to. It's just an update with our attorney regarding a contractual matter. I'm going to motion to adjourn to executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everybody. Emily,